Hi, everybody. Welcome to my channel. This is YouTube Can Be Great. I finally have a show that I can start from the beginning and watch and then review that's actually worth a damn. Because Love and Hip Hop Miami started today. They did the season premiere and it did not disappoint at all. It didn't disappoint. It's far better than what Atlanta was telling us and what crap they were giving us, focusing on them in DC and Yandy's nonsense and unnecessary drama they were creating. This one actually seems like it'd be more entertaining, more Love and Hip Hop style. But before I get into the show and what happened and what's going on and my reviews, check this out. So, a lot of you already know that I am a pattern day trader on the side, and that's what I do. There's a book out there that helps you get started called How to Start Day Trading with Just $100. You can get it off the PayHip website below in purple. Now, there's also a training course that I offer for those of you who don't want to read. You know what I'm saying? But once you do the first training course, if you're interested, I have the Inside My Day Trader routine watch list that you can go to. But if you go on the PayHip website, you can get all access to everything that I give you, provide you to be able to become a successful day trader. It's simple, it's cheap, and it'll help you make a little bit of money on the side. I day traded one of these stocks, DFLI. When I bought it, I used $1,000. I bought it at about $1.96 per share, about 510 shares, and then I sold it when it got to $2.50. Now, that difference from $1.96 to $2.50 may not seem much to you, but the amount I bought gave me a profit of $275. Now, you might say, well, $275 is not that much, but you're making this profit in less than 30 minutes in the morning, right? And then if you do that consistently for 5 days, it's over $1,000 in a week. And you do it in 4 weeks, you got 4K a month. Now that does add up. So if you're looking to make money on the side, go ahead and check this out. And I hope you guys have the same success that I do. So the season starts off with introducing us back with Trick of Miami, in the 305. And Trick is showing us his house. He shows us the flashback of what the house looked like, I think in 2003 or something like that, and him upgrading the same house in 2025. Now, I'm not going to lie, the house looked good. He did a good job in the upgrading. The issue I had is while he's planning this housewarming party that he wants to have at this property, we got Trina and her husband coming by, and I'm glad that they're still working out and their marriage is still going good. But they show up, and Joy's not there, obviously, because Trick and him and her have had issues with their divorce, separation, all that. But they show up, and Trick is letting them know that he's not trying to date nobody. He doesn't want to be with anybody. He's not interested in dating or talking to nobody. He just wants ass and tits, and he just wants bitches running around the house, and he just wants to enjoy his little bachelor life. That he didn't have 3 surgeries, I think is what he said last year, and he's looking to out here go buck wow. The food he's making looks good as hell. Chuck look like he can come home and cook for you, and he'll be great, and the food be bomb as hell. But what I'm saying is for him to sit there at his age and say that he just wants a bunch of butt naked hoes. Now, I'm not trying to hate or whatever, and I'm not the most beautiful person in the world, even though I still love my face. It's interesting what money can do because I'm looking at Trick, and while I think he's charismatic, and I can see why Joy fell in love with him because in his youth he was okay. Now I know that he has lupus, and that kind of makes things worse with your face as time goes by, but he is not physically in a space where I feel like he should be worried about all these bitches coming around him because you can turn off the lights, but there's only some things that can hide. You know what I'm saying? You're already old. You look like you're pregnant. Like the way that these men talk sometimes, I feel like somebody need to tell them something. Ask somebody before you open your mouth and say what you want to say. Because he proceeded to have his housewarming party. And I didn't have a photo of this, but he meets up with Hot Topic during this housewarming. And Hot Topic is very messy. She always has the hot topic. And she brings up somebody by the name of Samantha, saying that person asked about him. And Trick always talks about how messy she is. But the reason she was the one who put the plug in, because you know how these scenes are set up, is because Samantha is somebody of note that we're going to talk about later on as this review goes up. But this is how the show starts. It's basically Trick leading up to the introduction of this person, Samantha. There's going to be a bone of contention as this episode keeps going or the season keeps going. Moving on, we have Amara introducing her new perfume that she's doing because she's trying to hustle. Amara is the person that makes money. But Amara, if I remember last season, embarrassed the hell out of herself. She was chasing Alan, the father of her twin girls. Her daughters are absolutely beautiful, but the guy himself, there's no beauty in him. Alan was floating around different people trying to fuck several cast members, even though his ass had a wife. And Amara looked dumb going up to a married man talking about, I want to have more kids with you. I want you to put it in a cup. And Alan says, no, if I'm going to have kids, I'm going to do it the natural way because I just want to fuck, basically. But Amara embarrassed the hell out of herself, chasing after a guy that basically looked in her face saying, I'm not leaving my wife. So if you're going to fuck me with me having a wife, you might as well just do it. If you want to have kids with me knowing I have a wife, you'll be a single mom with extra kids on your back. But in this scene, it was supposed to be Amara addressing Eliza, who also ain't nobody's friend at all. In any episode, Eliza doesn't seem to be somebody that shows up for other people, even her own daughter. But she comes to the photo shoot that Amara is doing for her perfume line. Amara is absolutely beautiful, by the way. I'm not even going to lie about that. She's gorgeous. But Eliza comes in, and Eliza comes in with a lot of humility. She wants to apologize for the drama between Amara and her, and she wants to take accountability. And she lets them know that she recently had a miscarriage. Y'all remember last season, she told Miami Tip, that she was pregnant by some dude that we never met. And Miami accused her of trapping somebody. And we already had another scene where Shay accused her of turkey basting with somebody. So they said you trapped somebody else. So for her to come here now and say that she lost the baby because she fell off something, it was a very sad thing. However, I don't think that that was like, if you're trying to apologize to somebody for doing something wrong to them, you should just apologize to that person, right? I almost feel like, even though I don't want her to have a miscarriage, and I know that miscarriage is a hard thing to go through because I myself went through it, if you're going to apologize to somebody, you don't want to apologize to them by gaining sympathy for yourself. That is something why I didn't like that Eliza did. I'm like, nah, this girl's not genuine. This apology is not genuine. Her personality is still the same. She's still going to fuck you over because you apologize, but you apologize, leave your personal baggage. Just say, I'm sorry. I'm taking accountability for the things I did that you felt like I wronged you as a friend. That's it. At a later date, when you and that person have mended your relationship, then you can talk to them and say, okay, well, guess what? I know that you and I are now friends. Let me catch up on what's going on in my life. I lost my child. That's how the conversation should go. But Amara, true to form, she accepted her apology, said, okay, cool. I like your apology, but this is what I want you to do. The next time we meet up, I want you to meet up with Shay. And I want you to go ahead and address, mend that little fence with you and Shay, because Shay's one of my friends. So if you guys are going to be cool with me, I want you also to be cool with her. Fix that situation. And she said that she'll meet up with Shay and she'll rectify it. Moving on. In this same conversation between Eliza and Amara, that Amara brings up Miami Tip, and she brings up the Allen incident and how Miami Tip, after the episode aired, or after the season aired last season, season 6, it's all over social media how Miami Tip is now going and contacting Allen's wife, and they're having conversations via social media. And I don't know why Amara is shocked that Miami Tip does this, because Miami Tip ain't nobody's friend. She's not a friend to anybody. She's not loyal to anybody but herself and maybe her kid or her man. But every single person I've seen her do, her interpretation of being a friend is embarrassing you. I understand that Amara looked stupid as hell with what she was doing with Alan. She looked dumb. She looked desperate. She was too pretty to let somebody like Alan, who, to my understanding, Alan's not a multimillionaire. He's not a billionaire. He got on the show because he knocked you up. We heard about him because he stole you from Shay's brother. That's how we know about Alan. Alan's not some rapper or some music producer or some in any country that I've ever heard of. So for you to sit there on national television, not only did you make a baby with him, 2 babies with him, but you're begging him to make a baby with begging him to be in a relationship with you when you know that man is still married. So I understand where Miami Tip was coming from, because she wanted to let her know how dumb she looks on camera. But at the end of the day, Amara's grown. If she wants to sling her pussy to somebody else's husband, and that's her decision. If she wants to make a baby with somebody else's husband, knowing that that's going to make her a single mom, that's her choice. Miami Tip going so far to go on social media and try to contact the baby mama, that was messy as hell. And she knew she was being messy as hell. And she felt some type of way about Alan, and she wanted to put it on there. And even if you did contact the baby mama or the wife, you shouldn't put it on social media, or it shouldn't be on social media to where, the trolls are picking it up and seeing what it is. But Amara brings this up, and she said that this is the problem she has with Tip, that Tip did all this shit, and she's not cool with her. But let's move on to the next slide, or to the next scene. I said slide. Scene. Let's slide over to the next scene. Now we have Michael Blackson and Rada on this particular Miami season. And the only reason we know they put them on this season is because of Michael Blackson's trifling ass. Now, the problem I have with this situation is, with the face like that and the shit that he does, I'm flabbergasted. I'm bereft of utterances. I don't get it, because I've said before in my previous reviews about them, when they were in couples retreat and she was over in his face, and Rashida had came in talking about They're gonna have some beautiful kids. If y'all go back in my previous reviews, and I looked at her and I said, where? Because Rada is beautiful. Yes, Rada is beautiful. She's not drop dead gorgeous. She's not the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, but she's beautiful. She's a naturally beautiful girl, and she has nice features. She's pregnant now, so she's a little bit blown up, but that's expected when you're carrying. It's normal. But the way that she begged Michael to stop and fucking around on her and stop having his side chicks, and the way that he played in her face and told her, no, I'm gonna keep screwing whoever I want to screw, whatever I want to screw them. This whole thing when you think I'm just gonna fuck somebody once a month, that is insane. If you open up one door for me to fuck somebody once a month, I'm gonna fuck somebody 7 times a month, because one isn't enough. It doesn't matter if I do it once or twice. At the end of the day, I'm allowed to sleep around. But Rada was basically yelling at him because she wanted him to keep up with the boundaries that they agreed to. You shouldn't parade your hoes on national television, number one. You shouldn't parade them on social media. I shouldn't be embarrassed by the society knowing that I'm okay with you sleeping with somebody else. And then he didn't have the nerve to lie to her, saying that he's actually using condoms. We all know that a habitual or serial cheater, the likelihood of them using condoms when you've already given them the okay to go and do it is not likely. It was just a matter of time. I'm not saying this because I don't feel for her, because she doesn't deserve this. It sucks because she loves somebody that we can all see does not deserve her. Because I'm looking at Michael, and Michael looks like somebody who was picked on as a child, because his face is only one a mother could love. He looks like one of Frankenstein's failed projects. To me, he looks like, his features are just, uniquely designed, because it's just so off track of what normal features would be. If that man did not have as much money or he wasn't famous, I don't think he would be attracting these women that he's attracting, because he's smart enough to know not to date black girls to this capacity, because we ain't that dumb enough to sit up here and let you do this shit in front of our face. He's the type of narcissistic person that you're over here bearing your soul to him, telling him how much you love him. And he's like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I did this to you. But he don't give a fuck. There's some dudes that you will cry in their face, that will claim to love you. You will bawl your eyes out. You will break down. And that feeds their ego. It doesn't change anything. They will see your tears and they wouldn't care. You have to toughen up and let that person know, I don't care if you're in my life or not. I won't miss anything, because what you're giving me right now is nothing but pain. She stood here and says, as a grown woman who already had kids prior, just like he had kids prior, she said on national television, because she's currently in Los Angeles right now, and she's saying that she's going to go to Arizona to have their baby, but she lets us know she got this baby through IVF, that she's been intentionally trying to get pregnant by this mother sucker. That's what he calls them. I'm like, why? You told the man he could fuck other girls, and then you now try to actively have a baby with somebody you said could fuck other girls. It was only a matter of time before he went overboard with your choice. There is no way on God's green earth that you can tell somebody that they can sleep with multiple people and there won't be a consequence to that. It doesn't work that way. And it seems like Rada is doing the same thing Princess did with Ray J, where they're lowering their morals and their values because they fall in love with somebody that just don't like themselves, don't respect themselves. So you're doing whatever is necessary to please that person, even at your own happiness and your own expense. Now you're going to have this baby after your kid's done grown by yourself while he's still fucking bitches. Because his face, nobody will be fucking that face with the light on. I don't care. And the women he dates, I know he only gets those women because he has money, and he knows he only gets those women because he has money, which is why he's comfortable disrespecting them, because he knows if he didn't have money, they wouldn't look at him twice. He knows he ain't that stupid. He have a mirror, we have a mirror. Now, I'm not saying we are all God's children and we are all loved in his eyes, but we were not all made the same. Some of us, God's children as we are, came out looking fucked up, and he came out looking fucked up, and it's worse because his character is equally as fucked up as his features. So now I will feel bad about talking like this about Michael, but the way that he's treating Rada and the other side chick, and how they actually labeled her side chick on the little thing, you're embarrassing another woman to the magnitude. You didn't even have to come on the season to do it. She finds out on Love and Hip Hop Miami that you got some girl pregnant. At the same time she's pregnant, her kids are going to be overlapping in age. That's not something you do. You didn't give a fuck if she was embarrassed or not. And that is the part where I don't care. And then he did that pitiful ass apology on social media that just seemed more like a joke. He's ridiculous. So I'm gonna talk shit about him every single episode. Be prepared. I'm gonna kill this thing. This man thinks he's a comedian. Bitch, you done met me too. I'm gonna be a comedian when I rip your ass apart. And you can come up here, even if he sees my reviews, and he talks bad about me. He talks bad about how I look. I would never look like you, and I damn sure will never be as cruel as you to do something like that. You went on couples retreat to fix your relationship. You did a pathetic excuse. Oh, I'm scared of commitment. Bitch, you ain't scared of commitment. You just don't want to commit to her. Every man knows what they want when they want. It does not take them long to look at somebody and decide whether they want a future with that person. But I do know that a man who's with a woman that will look at them and say, I'm okay with you fucking other people, they're not gonna pick that person as a wife, because a narcissistic person will want a woman who does not want him to fuck other people so he can fuck other people behind her back and because his own problems, but without having to share her. The very fact that she opened her mouth and told him that he can sleep with other girls once a month, bitch, you should have been fucking other people once a month too. I don't care. I'm a child of God, I know, but we only have one life to live. Okay. And if I'm gonna stay with you and I love you and I can't get away from my love from you because I'm just too, I'm just too much in love with you. If you're gonna fuck somebody else, bitch, I'm gonna fucking somebody else too. And I'm gonna make sure not to take myself and take a shower after I'm done so I can sit on your face and you can smell that nigga's cum on me. Since you want to be an asshole about it and knock somebody up, you can lick that shit off my pussy. How about that? Bitch. Let's move on. So we get to Miami Tip, the girl who's no friend to nobody, and this is her scene. This scene that they have her is she's introducing her new movie, Behind Closed Doors, I think is what it's called. And in this scene, we're also supposed to meet a new cast member called Sanye, but she introduced us to her man named Chuck. She said he's a producer. She's with him. The camera didn't spend too much time with him. We don't care, but she's with him, and she brought her son, who seems to be well mannered, well trained. We didn't get much camera time with him either. We get just a brief preview of the movie she created. It looks entertaining. The girl's getting her ass beat. She's being beaten behind closed doors by some nigga, but it looks entertaining enough to think that okay, I'm proud of her hard work. I don't like her as a person because she ain't friend of nobody and she's always looking out for herself. But at least this scene did her well, painted her in a light as in somebody that's doing something with her life. So after the premiere, the behind closed doors for Miami Tip, because she's using this as a marketing tool, the Love and Hip Hop Miami is a marketing tool. We got Bobby Likes coming in with Sanye, the new cast member who's also a songwriter. I love her music, what they showed so far. I like it. She sounds beautiful. She's a great artist. I like her energy so far. I'm gonna see how she comes out as the season goes by. But in this same scene, we got Joy. And Joy lets everybody know that she's homeless. She says that she put her townhouse on the market and it was supposed to be sold. She had to move out. Da 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 da. At the end of the day, she ain't got no place to live. And Bobby gives her a plug, bitch. You are still married to Trick. Legally, that house is still yours. Y'all ain't divorced. You ain't homeless, bitch. Why don't you take your ass and go back to that man's house and live there? And Joy is 1000% adamant that she don't want to do that. She don't want to be in the same house with Trick. But Bobby's looking at her with your ass really ain't homeless, because if you're really for real homeless, you would just go wherever you can stay, even if it's a crack house, hell, even if it's a shelter. Your ass clearly isn't that scared of being homeless or living in your car, because you acting like Trick House ain't some place you can go to. He's not gonna force himself on you. But Bobby gives her that plug. Ain't gonna take nothing but a minute for her to take her ass over. Child, it took exactly 14 hours later for her to take the movers van over to Trick's house, see Trick's son, see the twins, who one of them who's dating Trick's sons. Trink gets mad at her, talking about you can't come here, what you doing here? You didn't even give me a heads up, all that stuff. And she was looking at him like, man, whenever you needed me to come through for you, I came through for you. I'm telling you, my ass is homeless, so I'm gonna stay here. And her and Trick are over there arguing like old married couples. Well, you got a cat, you can't keep your cat in the house. I have a dog. And she goes, well, my cat can stay here. I'm only here for a short amount of time. Basically, I'm gonna stay in this house until we're done filming so I can get my money, get my coins, so I won't be homeless anymore. So then we find out who Samantha is. Okay. And we find out that Samantha is Joy's sister. Now, the problem with this scene, there were so many things wrong with it. I don't even know how to explain this. Let's just start where I think is the right place to start. Trick meets up with her, and it seems like they're friends because they hug each other. And they go out, they go to this place, they're eating, drinking. She seems like a wholesome woman. She seems like a well put together woman. He says she's a preacher, she has a husband, she's married, but she's talking and she says that she has visions. And in her visions, she lets Trick know that every time I have visions, that it happens that this woman you're currently dating is not for you. You're a married woman coming to find somebody that we now learn is somebody that you were dating at some point, because she says that she was dating Trick, or she wanted to date Trick at some point, and Trick was telling her that he should have married her. And I'm sitting here thinking, well, why would that be something that she's bringing up as a preacher that's currently married? Why are you bringing up something that's so long ago? And Trick lets us know that, because she was like, well, if you love me so much, why'd you marry my sister? And I'm like, what? Is he talking about Joy? I was like, she's talking about Joy? Joy is your sister. And here we go. They show a picture showing Joy's sister to Samantha. And Trick is like, yo, basically he fucked both sisters. And I'm sitting here looking at both beautiful women thinking, how? I saw Trick's picture when he was young. I know that he was a nice rapper. He made money. He did well in the music industry. But for the love of God, my eyes, y'all can see there is no amount of money in the world that will make me be able to sleep with somebody just because they have money. Because their face would be hard for me to kiss. Them grills would be hard for me to make out with. Hell, maybe his breath may be as bad as those grills look. I do not see how this man was able to pull sisters who were absolutely beautiful, because Joy is gorgeous. So is the sisters equally as beautiful. But the problem here that I'm wondering is why the sister is still holding a grudge. The man chose. He married Joy. And Samantha said that Joy used to be in her ear talking about don't be with Trick, don't date Trick. Trick is this, he's a dog, he's a player, behind the back, for him to go ahead and be with and be and marry her instead of her. And that she felt kind of betrayed because it seemed like Joy was playing both sides, telling her not to be with Trick because she wants to be with Trick. She wanted him to leave the sister. And he's sitting there talking about, and she's sitting there reminding him, but you said you told me that you felt like you should have married me instead. And I'm thinking, why should that matter now? If you're a preacher, you're already married. Why should what he said 20 plus years ago matter? It just seems like she's keeping Trick in her life as like the one who got away. And I don't understand that, because I think it's been long enough for you to get over this. But this is how they introduce her on this show. She's a preacher, she's married, and she's Trick's ex, who also happens to be Joy's sister. The messiness of this is too much. I'm ready for it to unfold when they meet up so we can hear the real. Rada has since had her conversation with Michael Blackson, letting him know about the issue she has with the side chicks and how she's hoping that when she goes to Arizona to have the baby surrounded by people that love her, and she eventually goes back to Miami, she would want to know that her child has a father that's a good example. She's basically doing everything she can to let him know to leave those side chicks alone. And I'm just looking at her like, bitch, this man is never going to leave these side chicks alone. You've already agreed to it. He's not going to stop. You've already agreed to it. Once you agree to that, you can't renege on that. It's never going to work. It's like once you agree to a threesome, you cannot undo that, because he's going to keep asking for more threesomes, because he's going to keep being greedy and selfish. You can't go backwards now after you accept something to say, well, I changed my mind after you didn't got a taste of, Lake Minnetonka. You can't do that. The thing about it is, Rada goes and she wants to meet her friends because she wants some moral support. And one of her friends, the only person I recognize there, is Claudia Jordan. And she tells her that, that about her plans and how she wants to have the baby and everything. She also starts crying, and she lets them know that she talked to Trick. Not Trick. She talked to Michael, and she told Michael her concerns about the side chick situation and how she wants him to just let all side chicks go. But she starts crying like, I love him so much. I really love him. I don't know why he wouldn't just let these girls go and just fuck me. And I wanted to just reach my hand through the screen. As much as I wanted to hug her, I also wanted to punch her, when the baby comes out, because I want her to understand something. There's something I feel like women should understand. You know, what you choose to accept is what the man's going to continue to do. Now, if you're okay with him cheating on you, with you being aware of it, because she said that she knows he sleeps with the girls, but she told me that she says she only lets him sleep with once a month. And I'm thinking that's an unreasonable thing to think that he's going to abide by that. He's going to sleep with one girl once a month. That still caps him. The man doesn't want to be controlled. And part of him not giving up these side chicks is because it's a way that he feels like he's being controlled. If he lets go and he commits to you, then the excuse he gives is, well, I'm afraid of commitment. You're not afraid of commitment. You just don't want to have to answer or be responsible or have accountability for the choices you're making that are irresponsible for a grown adult. The man has 27-year-old, two 18-year-olds, and now he got two women pregnant at the same time coming out. And how are you going to explain this to your elder kids about your irresponsible choices that you're just doing? Because they're watching you and you're normalizing this stupid ass behavior like Nick Cannon was doing. It's dumb as hell for somebody that looks like you to be doing this shit, because you don't know what kind of generational curses you're creating. What happened to respecting the person that you're with? This woman is telling you that she don't want to be in a relationship, that she's not comfortable with what you're doing. If Michael was not as selfish as he behaves, he would just say, Rada, I love you, but I am not capable of giving you what you want. I think it's best that you go and find your happiness. You're going to, I don't want to keep you in my life. But she's saying, I've done so much for him. And I'm thinking, bitch, that's probably why. You did so much for him. You showed him how much you love him. There's some narcissistic men, they can never know how much you love him. You can never let them know how you feel about them, because they will be reckless with your heart. And sitting here listening to this and watching this poor girl cry, just felt so bad for her. At the same time, I feel like if him getting somebody pregnant is not enough for you to get out of this cycle that you put yourself in out of love, love is strong, but love can also fade. And it can also be, you can fall in love with somebody else. There's a bunch of lovable people in this world. You don't have to love this person that looks like his facial features were cut and pasted by a bad art project. You can't do that. You don't have to be with somebody like this. You're more beautiful. You can get somebody that looks far better than him and probably richer. Shit. Hell, why settle for this shit? So moving on, we get to the next scene where we have this is gonna be Sonye's debut, her first performance. She came out of Miami. Bobby, I think, helped her set it up. That's how they're here. He's introducing her. Shay comes in, and one of the questions they ask Shay is, are things completely over with her and Fabo? And you all remember last season, Fabo, after sleeping with everything and anything, lying about it, coming, being caught looking stupid, disrespecting her mama, disrespecting her brother, acting like he was above it all. You can't talk to him some type of way. He was just rude as hell. And he came on the show and we saw his character, and his character was trash. But it ended with her confronting him and trying to get him to accept accountability for all the shit he was doing, for him to want to ask her to marry him, and her just to walk away and just said, no, I can't marry somebody like this. She officially says she's done with him. But what he put her through leaves a scar. I feel bad for Shay sometimes. Shay has been on television doing reality TV since Flavor of Love. And that was when I was in freaking high school. And she was trying to find love then. Then she came on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. She was Scrappy's side chick. She was a side chick because Scrappy didn't tell her that he was still in a relationship with his big mama, Erica Dixon. And that's the person he proposed to after he was fucking her. So she comes, and then the next person she dates is Pretty Ricky. Pleasure P from Pretty Ricky. And he comes up trying to play her because he also wanted to still date his ex too. Then she comes up here. It's like Shay can never catch a break. The person that she chooses every time is never the right person. I have an advice for Shay. Shay needs to pick somebody that's a regular somebody. It needs to be like somebody that works in the post office, somebody that's a garbage collector, somebody that's not on TV, doesn't have anything to do with the music industry. She needs to date a wholesome person that has a nice 9 to 5, that all he wants to do is come home, rub on his wife's booty, have some kids, pay some average bills, and she can be the breadwinner, because that person her feet will not touch the ground. The people that she's picking that's supposed to be in the same caliber as her on TV, music industry, maybe has their own business, maybe they're just pretty boys. I don't think that that works for Shay. Shay already has unique features. She's a pretty girl, but she has unique features that just, it's a little different than what an African American feature would be, because of the way that her eyes is very slanted. It works for her, but Shay's not the type of person that can be with somebody that's out there like her. And I feel bad for her because she seems broken. She seems like she wants love. She wants to be loved, and she's not getting it. But Amara comes in, and Amara and Bobby and her are talking about Sonye about to perform. But at the same time, Bobby mentions that Tip is coming, Miami Tip, and Amara don't want to hear that. Amara don't want to hear anything she has to say. They also mentioned that Eliza's coming, and Eliza's supposed to come, and her and Shay are supposed to talk things out. That shouldn't go right. Eliza and her did, Eliza did take accountability and try to take responsibility for the things that she said. But Shay just wasn't ready to. Her heart's not the right place. Shay talked about her daughter, about her child, and she told Shay, how would you feel if I talk about your child? And Shay said, do it. Let's see it, or whatever. Shay is looking for somebody to beat on because she's heartbroken and she's broken. And you can see it. She's not, Shay this season is not Shay that I know. Shay this season is like Shay tired. Shay fed up. Shay over it. Shay, the type of Shay that when you've just been through so much emotionally and you're just tired. I don't know how recent her relationship ending with Fable is, but you can tell she's still heartbroken in this scene and in this entire episode. You can just see it. You can smell it on her. And I think as the season goes by and we see the commercial, she's going to finally break down, because she's going to let people know that she gives a lot and all she wants is that in return, and she never gets it the way that she wants it. So that was what this whole scene was all about. Then we get to the next scene. This scene is where, this is right after Sonye performs. Her performance was gold. I loved it. I thought she looked great. She was beautiful. But Miami Tip coming in to support. Miami Tip came with an attitude like, "Hi, Amara," like she wasn't online talking to Alan's wife, and being messy and shit like that. But Amara basically goes off on her, and I'm thinking, Amara, your ass is going off on the wrong person. Alan should be the person you should be talking to like this, trying to embarrass with the mic. And Sanye says what I said. This is why people look at Love and Hip Hop the way to look at it, because this was ghetto as shit. Amara goes and takes the microphone from the person who's supposed to be the star of the day of that particular event after her performance. She takes the microphone and she starts yelling at the microphone. How about we normalize bitches minding their own business? And I'm like, girl, Miami Tip went too far, but I don't expect anything less from her. This is the same Miami Tip behavior I've seen since she appeared on the show. She's always got herself in some kind of messy thing. I think at some point she was sleeping with some other girl's dude, and he didn't tell her, and it was revealed in the reunion that he was also talking to her, and he didn't. Like, there's always some messy shit that Miami Tip is involved in that keeps her on the show when she's around. Mamara was just the target this time around. But Amara took the microphone, and I didn't like that she took it from Sonya. She said hello, and she took it, and she tried to make herself, she was going to try to embarrass Miami Tip, but she ended up looking bad. This is where Amara gets me, because Amara is smart. Mara's beautiful. She's talented. She has great business ventures. And I think she's a pretty good mom, especially because she's a single mom. She's doing it all on her own. But when she does this shit, it's like, girl, you're taking the light from somebody else. It kind of screams like you just want to be a pick me. I understand that Miami Tip, what she did was foul, but girl, you kind of walked into it. Everybody in that dinner table was thinking the same thing Tip was thinking. They just didn't say it to your face. And you can't think Tip is your friend. She's nobody's friend. So I don't know why you're shocked that she went and did what she did on social media for you to be doing all this with this girl's performance. It just was not tasteful. It was tasteless. It just ruined that. But I'm happy that Sonya handled it the way she handled it, instead of getting mad and punching her in the face for embarrassing the situation and for ruining her show. So we get to the final scene of this premiere, and it was just some fuck shit. So we see, this is after the conversation Ryder didn't had with Michael, talking about how she wants him to get rid of all the side chicks when the baby comes. Then we meet Nadia. In the description below, when Nadia was first introduced, as Michael's walking to her home, it says Nadia, Michael's side chick. It actually describes her as a side chick. And I'm thinking, bitch, do you see the camera? The camera's here. And how are you gonna feel when you go on the show and you rewatch it and see that they described you as a side chick? Because he comes in, at first they only show the top half. She got her titties out. She's an attractive girl. She's not prettier than Rada to me, in my opinion, but she's attractive enough. And he comes in looking like an Easter basket. And oh my God, I just don't see what this woman see in this person. I mean, hell, I mean, what is it? Is the dick good? Is that it? Does he have a Mandingo-sized penis? I mean, he is full-blooded African. I mean, I mean, I'm just saying, maybe he's well endowed, but even still, you can just, why don't you just create a dildo or something? Because you're having babies with this man, which means that your baby has half his features. What if your baby comes out looking like him? Are you okay with that? There's no amount of money in the world, because there's not enough plastic surgery that will fix what I'm looking at with this man. But he comes in, he brings us some tired ass cupcakes, and he says, how's the baby doing? And in his confessional, he said, I told Rada that, with these side chicks, I'm not trying to get attached to them because I don't want to get attached to them. And he's calling her a side chick too on the confessional. But he's like, but now I'm going to be stuck with this one for 18 years. But my thought process is, this wouldn't happen if you kept your word to Rada that you're using condoms every time you fuck these hoes. So you have two lies now. Rada is pregnant as well. This girl is pregnant, and clearly she's pregnant because you didn't use protection when you were fucking her. And I'm thinking to myself, this man just does not give a fuck, because people act like STDs don't exist. Like, it's not like all these swapping souls. Like, it's cool. You got this woman that loves you over here. You got this one who probably has feelings for you and thinks she in love with you and thinks she's going to have a happy home with you now that she's bringing a baby with you. She didn't have a baby by somebody who got money, and she's stupid enough to think that you're going to stay with her. Now, this is how the episode ends, but we see previews and how the season is going to go. And at some point, this stupid bitch is going to say that she's going to go blow up Rada's spot. And I'm thinking, why are you going after her when he's the one that's playing in your face? It's just so many stupid. I just can't. Now, you can be stupid with somebody like Jeff Bezos, or somebody like, Elon Musk, or somebody like some multi-billionaire. You can be stupid as hell with somebody like that. You can't be stupid with somebody like that. It's just not worth it. It's not worth. What the hell? But anyway, let me know what y'all think about the first season, the set season 7, episode 1 premiere, because I thoroughly enjoyed it. I give it at least a 3.5 to 4 out of 5 because it was entertaining. It had started off, and the season, as I'm seeing it, we're gonna have Boots come in. Boots and Bucky from Flavor of Love have had beef since way back when. I want to see them finally settle that beef, even if they mean that they fight it out and they come back together and kumbaya, so be it. You got Joy and her sister here with Trick. Trick talking about he's not the first time he done fucked sisters. I'm thinking which sisters were they blind and mute, or maybe not mute but blind? Like who is? Can somebody in the confessional in the comments let me know if they really if maybe it's just me. Maybe something's wrong with my eyes. I did have to have LASIK, so my eyesight is not as good. But let me know if you look at Michael and you think that if you look at him, he was somebody that you will be attracted to enough to fuck and be his side chick. Let me know. You guys have a good rest of your day.